We do not often run from real physical danger in our modern workplaces, Instead, we find ourselves running from the shadows of not knowing what comes next. It is the feeling of uncertainty, not the presence of a definite threat, that so often causes us to freeze or retreat. Think of a quiet, passing comment from a manager that you replay in your mind for days. Consider a strange, unexpected question posed during a job interview that makes you second-guess the entire opportunity. Or picture a new job title that sounds impressive and important, but comes with no clear list of tasks or responsibilities. These vague signals feel uniquely scary because they create a void that our minds rush to fill with worry and doubt, making us want to step back into what feels safe and known. This natural human reaction is not a sign of weakness. It is a feature of our survival instinct. Our brains are fundamentally wired to seek safety and predictability. For our distant ancestors, this was an essential tool for staying alive in a world full of genuine perils. A rustle in the bushes or an unfamiliar sound was a signal to prepare for the worst, because the cost of being wrong was incredibly high. Today, that same ancient wiring often misfires in the context of our careers. It can interpret a manager's ambiguous tone in an email or a colleague's brief silence as a major social threat, triggering the same fight-or-flight response that a predator once would have. This makes us feel an urgent need to protect ourselves from a danger that is imagined, not real. This deep-seated principle of better safe than sorry operates quietly within our bodies and minds, guiding our choices without our conscious permission. When we encounter a situation that could potentially be negative, our instinct is to avoid it altogether rather than risk finding out. In a professional setting, this avoidance can manifest in ways that seem perfectly normal on the surface. An employee might suddenly stop asking clarifying questions in meetings, choosing instead to guess what their boss truly wants. A talented individual might delay applying for a promotion until every single detail and expectation is spelled out for them. But the hard truth is that perfect clarity is a luxury that rarely arrives on its own. It is something we must actively create for ourselves. Furthermore, our brains are notoriously skilled at noticing and magnifying negative information over positive feedback. This is known as the negativity bias. A single, slightly critical comment during a performance review can easily overshadow a dozen compliments, lodging itself in our memory and coloring our entire perception of our abilities. From this one small piece of ambiguous data, we construct an entire narrative in our heads. A story of failure, a story of inadequacy, a story of impending doom. We then act based on this story, believing we are making a logical move to protect ourselves. The tragedy, however, is that this self-protective story is often built on a foundation of incomplete facts and unfounded fears, leading us away from opportunities rather than toward them. You can learn to override this outdated programming with a simple, deliberate plan. This plan has 3 straightforward steps you can use immediately. Notice, clarify, act. This framework isn't about suppressing feelings or ignoring intuition. It's about adding conscious thought between unease and action. It lets you respond with intention instead of instinct, turning fear into deliberate, strategic choices. The first step, notice, is developing self-awareness when the impulse to retreat appears. Pause, just a second, and acknowledge what's happening internally. Say to yourself, I am feeling anxious about this conversation, or I feel the urge to avoid this task. By naming the feeling and recognizing the impulse, you create a small but crucial space between stimulus and response. Labeling slows the brain's threat reaction, giving your logical mind a chance to catch up and engage. The second step, clarify, is separating facts from feelings and interpretations. Ask yourself 2 questions. What do I actually know for sure in this situation? What parts am I just guessing or assuming? Write answers in 2 short lists, 1 for facts, 1 for guesses. This externalizes thoughts and lowers emotional intensity. It reveals the real information gap, the space between known and feared, which is usually smaller than it first seemed.